In the ancient city of Rajagaha lived a man named Raahik, born into the Untouchable caste. His life was marked by harsh treatment and constant humiliation. He was forbidden from entering temples, denied basic rights, and treated as less than human by those of higher castes. Raahik's days were spent cleaning the streets and doing menial jobs that no one else wanted. Despite the cruelty he faced, he carried a quiet dignity within him. Every evening, he would sit by the river, reflecting on his fate and dreaming of a world where he could be treated as an equal. One day, as he was working in the marketplace, he overheard a group of people discussing a remarkable teacher named Gautama Buddha, who was known for his wisdom and compassion. They spoke of how Buddha saw all beings as equal and taught the path to enlightenment to everyone, regardless of their caste or status. Intrigued and hopeful, Raahik decided that he would seek out this wise teacher, hoping to find solace and answers to his suffering. The journey to the Buddha's monastery was long and arduous. Raahik walked for days, facing the elements and the hostility of those who saw him as an untouchable. His feet were blistered, his body weary, but his spirit remained unbroken. He was driven by the hope that the Buddha could show him a way out of his suffering. Finally, Raahik arrived at the monastery, his heart pounding with a mixture of anticipation and fear. As he approached the entrance, he was stopped by a monk with a kind face. The monk looked at Raahik with compassion and asked, "What brings you here, my friend?" Raahik, hesitant at first, bowed his head and replied, "I have heard of the Buddha's teachings and his great compassion. I seek his wisdom and guidance." The monk nodded and led Raahik inside, offering him food and water. For the first time in his life, Raahik felt treated with kindness and respect. The monk then guided him to the Buddha's chamber, where he found the wise teacher sitting in deep meditation. As Raahik entered the chamber, the Buddha opened his eyes and smiled warmly at him. "Welcome, my friend," the Buddha said. "I sense that you are suffering greatly. Tell me, what troubles you?" With a trembling voice, Raahik poured out his heart. He spoke of the endless humiliation, the pain of being treated as an outcast, and his longing for a life of dignity. The Buddha listened intently, his eyes filled with understanding and compassion. When Raahik finished speaking, the Buddha gently placed a hand on his shoulder. "My dear Raahik," he said softly, "your suffering is not unique. We all experience pain and loss in our lives. But we also have the power to choose how we respond to it." The Buddha then shared a profound teaching with Raahik. He explained that all beings, regardless of their caste or status, possess the potential for enlightenment. He spoke of the law of karma, how our thoughts and actions shape our destiny, and how by cultivating kindness and compassion, we can transform our own suffering and the suffering of others. Raahik listened with rapt attention, feeling as though a weight was being lifted from his shoulders. For the first time in his life, he felt a glimmer of hope. The Buddha's words resonated deeply within him, and he realized that his worth was not determined by his caste, but by his actions and his heart. In a moment of profound clarity, the Buddha reached out and took Raahik's hand. A surge of energy flowed through Raahik's body, and he felt his pain and sadness begin to dissolve, replaced by a sense of peace and joy. Tears streamed down his face as he realized that he was not alone in his suffering and that he had the power to change his fate. From that day forward, Raahik became a devoted follower of the Buddha's teachings. He spent his days practicing meditation, learning the Dharma, and cultivating kindness towards all beings. As he did, he found that his own suffering began to fade away, replaced by a sense of inner peace and happiness. Word of Raahik's transformation spread throughout Rajagaha, challenging the deep-rooted prejudices of the caste system. People from all walks of life began to see him not as an untouchable, but as a beacon of the Buddha's teachings. His story inspired others to question their own beliefs and to treat everyone with compassion and respect. As Raahik's journey continued, he became known for his wisdom and kindness. He traveled from village to village, sharing the Buddha's teachings and helping others find their own paths to enlightenment. Wherever he went, he was met with gratitude and admiration, and he saw the power of compassion and understanding transform the lives of those around him. One day, as Raahik was walking along a dusty road, he came across a sick and frail old man lying by the side of the path. The man's eyes were filled with pain and despair, and Raahik could see the suffering etched on his face. Without hesitation, Raahik sat down beside the old man and began to share his food and water. He listened to the old man's story and offered words of comfort and kindness. As they sat together, Raahik felt a deep sense of peace and joy that he had never felt before. He realized that the Buddhist teachings were not just words but a way of life. In that moment, Raahik knew that he had found his true purpose to spread the message of compassion and equality and to help others overcome their own suffering. The old man, touched by Raahik's kindness, slowly began to recover. He thanked Raahik with tears in his eyes, expressing his deep gratitude. Raahik continued on his journey, his heart filled with a sense of fulfillment and happiness. Years passed, and Raahik's legacy grew. His story became a symbol of hope and transformation, inspiring countless others to embrace the Buddha's teachings and to look beyond the confines of caste and status. The Untouchable had become a revered teacher, his life a testament to the power of compassion and the potential for enlightenment within us all. As Raahik approached the end of his life, he returned to the Buddha's monastery, where he had first found solace and wisdom. He knelt before the Buddha, his heart overflowing with gratitude. The Buddha looked at him with a gentle smile and said, "You have walked a long and noble path, my friend. Your journey has brought light to many, and your actions have shown the true essence of the Dharma." Raahik bowed deeply, tears streaming down his face. "Thank you, Master," he whispered. "Your teachings have given me a life I never imagined possible. I am forever grateful." With those words, Raahik closed his eyes, his spirit filled with peace and contentment. He had transcended the bounds of caste and found enlightenment, his life a beacon of hope for all who sought a path of compassion and equality. And so, the story of Raahik, the Untouchable who found enlightenment, lives on as a powerful reminder that true worth lies not in our birth or status, but in our actions and the love we show to others. May we all learn to cultivate kindness and understanding towards ourselves and others, just as Raahik did, and may we all find peace on our own journeys to enlightenment. This story captures the profound transformation of an untouchable man through the Buddha's teachings, emphasizing the power of compassion and the potential for enlightenment within every individual, regardless of caste or social status.